I know, everybody, I know I am late on this one, but I wanted to give my 2 cents on probably the biggest Warzone drama we have seen all year. We're not talking about the terrible server issues that the pros and players have been having to deal with, but alongside that, we're talking about $1 million plus tournament, that being the World Series of Warzone. Well, yeah, it also had its own string of drama over the past week or so. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and a bit of a recap as we have Unrational alongside Huskerrs dropping their trio, that being Scummn. And I don't think I've ever seen an argument, or it's been a while, that was so divided and so toxic. The people in the Warzone space, they either love Scummn or hate Scummn, or they love Huskerrs and Unrational or hate them. It's like, let's just all take a breather and realize that we are all adults here. They're playing for thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, and everything is going to be okay. But the general gist that they drop him amidst this gigantic tournament, so he now has to scramble and find a different team. We're still waiting for the domino effect of what that's going to do for other teams out there. The general gist being they dropped him, from my understanding, for a variety of reasons. One of them being a bad attitude, a toxic attitude, other things maybe not mentioned to us as the public, to which he's now taken to Twitter several times. A lot of deleted tweets on top of that I did miss. And it just seems a lot of this was also just a giant miscommunication. And it also felt like at the end of it, there were still some missing pieces as to how this trio came to drop Scummn amidst a $1 million tournament. As Scummn said, well, got dropped for the World Series of Warzone. If anyone needs a third for stage 1, semis, and finals, let me know. Huskerrs and Unrational directly adding them. I'm praying on y'all's downfall, and I hope y'all do absolutely effing terrible. To which Huskerrs quoted saying, decided to part ways with Scummn for multiple reasons, and will be finding a new third for World Series of Warzone moving forward. Not sure why he felt the need to tweet this, but I wish him and his future teammates the best in managing his immaturity, negativity, and a lack of teamwork. So obviously in that quote tweeting, some of the variety of reasons, the negative attitude, the immaturity, and that was expressed in Scummn's response, and it was probably also addressed in his further response of this situation. I'm not taking sides in this. I think both sides are at fault for a variety of reasons, but Scummn continued to tweet about this, and a lot of people were giving him a hard time. You got to imagine being dropped, no matter the reason, for $1 million tourney, it's gonna hurt, and you're probably gonna say things out of emotion, and he certainly did. Saying, how am I getting hate when I just got effed over in a $1.2 million tournament? Talking about childish, this is life-changing money and opportunity. I also feel betrayed in a friendship, feel scammed out of money, and spot in the biggest tourney of the year. Sorry I'm not in the best at controlling my emotions, but I do believe I have the right to feel the way I do, especially when they've been plotting for days. Good night. And so here, I'm going to bring you guys through this complicated storyline. I don't think we'll ever know the full truth, but I'm going to try and piece it together. So shouts to Repulse and all the boys for having these guys on, that being Unrational and Scummn, to give you a gist of how I digested all of this. It seems that Unrational was like, yeah, we were maybe thinking about doing this for quite some time because he's been a terrible teammate and he is very toxic. That's what I got from Unrational's side.
Yeah, I don't know, as a trio, have not been like vibing well, not meshing well in a lot of stuff. Like I think Scummn is one of the most talented players, like mechanically, and gifted players in Warzone. Like that's a given. Everybody knows that he is extremely gifted and very good at the game. I just think when it comes to being a teammate, that he lacks in a lot of areas. When it comes to like professionalism and meshing well with your teammates. And I feel like there's just always some sort of drama. And every time we ever went into anything, there was always like, I just felt like everything was always, our fault. It was, I mean, like, even if like we'd call a play and it could be the worst play in the world. Like we need to be able to all be on the same page regardless. Because like, that's just how a good team works. You learn what doesn't work by failing, but you need to be failing together to be able to build on that. And there was just like no good chemistry. The vibes were horrible. It's like every time we played together, I just ended up being in a bad mood because of like everything that I dealt with. And it's just like I had so much toxicity being brought towards me from my teammate. Like anybody that's watched us over the last 2 or 3 years would, completely understand and know that. I think Scummn can go on and play with someone way better and do better anyways. It doesn't.
And it seems they might have ghosted Scummn for a while. So at least to me, the hints seemingly were there that this was going to happen, and that's why Scummn tweeted in the first place. I don't think he tweeted that for no reason, but the timeline and all that is a bit confusing as to when he tweeted that. Was he already dropped, or when he tweeted that, did he kind of already know he was going to be dropped? It's just it's nuance. Besides that, Scummn then responded and said, you know what, they ghosted me for several days, and also kind of admitted to being toxic, but also called his former teammates soft and not being able to take his call outs and take his criticisms. So you can feel how you want about that.
Right. And he was like you're just negative and toxic, da 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 da. And I was like, no, like I was just trying to practice my our team fights and not sit fucking top Shreem in Diamond 2 and Zone 2. And they like threw a fit about that. So I was like, whatever, da 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 da. Left it. Then they came back like 2 days later, asked me to play. I was like, sure, like I'm down. Like, can we like practice our team fights or like whatever? Like I'll just play how you guys want to play. But like I want you guys to also like listen to me from time to time. So then like I was trying to call stuff, they were just ignoring me, and then they like freaked out on me, right? So this is when I tweeted I needed a World Series team. So they freaked out on me. They're like I'm losing SR, like I'm just gonna go play with other people. I'm like, okay, what the fuck was that? I don't know what's going on. These guys haven't been talking to me the last fucking 2-3 days. It's whatever. So I tweeted out like I need a World Series team because I didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? So then they like didn't respond. Da 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 da. I'm sitting there asking like, yo, like are we playing? Like, what's going on? Like I have more texts with Larry. Also. I'm like, yo, are we playing? Da 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 da. Like, I gotta know. Like, I need to know if I got a team. Like, I'm getting fucked right now. And they're like, all I got was, we're finding a new third. We're not playing with you. All I got, literally word for word, we're finding a new third. I do not give a fuck about getting dropped, okay? I do not care. That is not the problem here. It's that the tourney was supposed to be 3 days ago. I'm now fucked out of a spot. They're not getting me the spot. They don't give a fuck about me. If they did, they wouldn't have dropped me this late into the tourney. You know, like they don't give a fuck about me. I'm fucked now. Like I'm fucked. Like literally, I'm fucked out of stage 1. And everyone, if you are half decent at the game, you're qualifying for stage 1 and you're gonna go to the finals of stage 2.
In a lot of ways, you're also not super approachable. And Huskerrs and Scummn, or Huskerrs and Unrational aren't the type of guys to like go head on with you and be like, you know, really, really take it to head, right? And so they're probably just a little bit more like, God, this fucking Scummn guy is on my ass all the time. And they,
I mean, some people need that shit to win, though. I'm not. Listen, if we're playing for money, I literally, I can't sit there and hold their hand, bro. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that was a good try. Like, dude, we're playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like.
So to try and keep it as brief as possible, what it seems to me is there were big attitude issues, big toxicity issues, and that's what led to the eventual dropping of Scummn. But also from Scummn's point of view, I do understand that being dropped before the biggest tournament of the year, I think there's problems on both sides. It was clearly exhibited that Scummn is a toxic / emotional guy. Even in the stream, he was just calling out FaZe Blue and people in chat, obviously kind of in the emotions of just being dropped, right? But it's clear that he has some rage-filled moments, all right? There's no other way to put it, but it's very clear that he can be toxic. I mean, people have called him a bad teammate outside of just these guys, and that was very clear. The flip side of that, though, is I understand why he would be upset, and that's why I think there's problems on both sides. This is just my take, but if you approach the biggest tournament of the year and you wait till last second to drop your teammate, that's scummy. Ironically happening to someone like Scummn, but to the point that Isaac and others were making, if you're a scummy teammate, you are bound to get dropped eventually, so I understand both sides. The perfect solution here, drop him after the tournament is what I would have suggested. It just seems like there was a series of miscommunications and emotional fire-ups and flare-ups that then led to this point where it all went to shambles ahead of the tournament instead, you know?
Other teams are like, they get criticized for somebody having their IGL be too vocal or whatever. They have disagreements among the team. Even like I've seen it recently where top Apex teams will be like, oh, that dude's an asshole, but they win all the time.
Yeah, but
and the teammates don't feel like it's an issue, but everyone is in on this mantra of this is how we're going to communicate, and they're perfectly fine with it. So even if you say you're fucking garbage, you fucked up, they know that you don't really mean you're fucking garbage and you fucked up.
I mean,
they just know the urgency's there, you know. But it's nuanced.
I mean, the Warzone scene is just soft, bro. Why do you think the CDL teams play scrims off stream? Like, because they can't talk freely.
Bro, you're not a victim here. 100%. I think a lot of people are
You don't
wrong.
think I'm a victim? I just got scammed at 150,000, maybe even 1.2 mil. How am I not entitled to it? I was locked in. Isaac, the rosters are locked. They went to do some weird shit behind my back to get me off the team.
I agree.
Now I can't find a team. So what do you mean I'm not entitled? You're not entitled to anything. I'm not entitled to anything. But when rosters are locked, bro.
I mean,
I was locked in,
We
and
thought we were going to play stage 1 on the 18th, and they changed that shit up, you know? Like, I feel for you, but I also feel for them. Like, it's not the... It's
Yeah,
not a
because you're
fucking black and white
friends with
thing.
them. You're friends with them. If you
I'm
were friends with me...
you. Dude,
I mean,
I've
low key,
always
low
been
key,
the
low key.
grown ass man in the scene that just has a fucking objective take on things. And if they're going into this tournament and they truly feel that you don't think they're a good teammate, they're gonna drop you.
I'm gonna be the play
Yeah, I
both
can't
sides.
speak to him.
Hold on. I'm gonna be on both sides. I agree with some of the things Adik said, but also on Scummn's side, I think with rosters locked, this should have been done before this. With a locked roster, I don't think this should have been handled the way it was handled, because this was literally like the captain already locked his roster, locked it in, sent to Activision. This is my team. And then are trying to backstab now. I don't think that's right. It's Scummn or not, friends with Huskerrs or not, if that was me and my team, I would be pissed off. Be like, yo, this should have happened before this. Rosters were already locked.
And I think we saw that blend, as a lot of these guys, like Isaac pointed out, like, you can be a terrible teammate. That's a bad thing. You should be dropped. And then Joe will pointed out, yeah, that might be true, but dropping a guy ahead of $1 million+ tournament, that sucks as well. And so that's where I'm at in all of this. I just feel bad mostly for Scummn, as you know, when he points at himself, he did get screwed over. Did he behave the right way leading into this, and that's why he was dropped? No, he could have behaved better, but he also got fricked over. And did he behave the best way afterwards? No, but I try and picture myself in his shoes, and it's just a sucky situation entirely, as he feels that he had a couple friends that fricked him over, and those friends were like, hey, you were just so toxic, we couldn't compete with you anymore. So we'll see where all of this goes. If Scummn can then find a team, as he's now taken to Twitter to ask someone else to potentially drop their third for him. So that, I mean, that's also a sucky thing, but it's like, those are the shoes he's been placed in. We'll see how, if both these trios eventually make grands, you know, how they compete against. I mean, this could be good storylines. This could be some good drama and turn into some good content for a comeback story or whatever it might be. But what do you guys think? Who is in the wrong here? Is it the teammates for dropping a toxic teammate? Is it the toxic teammate for being toxic in the first place? I have seen certainly a rift. I mean, you go person to person, and there might be a majority here, but when I was watching streams and comments, I see people flipping back and forth, and I'm not really sure. I do feel for Scummn a little bit. I really do. What do you guys think? Till next time, take care of yourselves. I'll catch you back here sometime soon.